Hey everyone, this is Cindy Allen, Editor-in-Chief of Interior Design Magazine, and we have the third part in our series with the NKBA. We've been having so much fun with them, learning so much, and I'm welcoming back my very good friend, Suzie Williford, the EVP and Chief Strategy Officer. I call her the queen of the National Kitchen and Bath Association, 50,000 members strong. How are you, Suzie?
You make me laugh. Hey, Cindy, thanks so much for having me again. I'm very excited about today because as you and I have been talking about, this is a big subject and there's some amazing stats to share about this.
Yes, definitely. Well, so let's remind the designers. So first of all, a very critical issue right now, and all designers care about this, which is reducing waste, right? So we're going to talk about the problem and the mission of recycling luxury kitchens, and even talk about a new and interesting design competition, all of that in a half an hour. But Suzie, yeah, there are some really interesting and kind of a disturbing facts in the luxury kitchen and bath market. So why don't we share them together?
Well, let's do that. First, the interesting thing, and it still blows me away, the total size of the kitchen renovation market is $68 to $86 billion.
Amazing. That we love. That we don't have a problem. That's amazing. But then after that, there are 82,000 to 103,000 luxury kitchens that are, listen to this everyone, thrown out annually. That's crazy stuff.
Yeah, especially when you think about the fact that the average luxury kitchen spend is $125,700.
Wow, amazing.
125K, can you imagine? And times that, times how many have been thrown out.
Exactly. And then the other crazy thing is the number of kitchens that are actually installed annually are almost the same amount that are thrown out, which is roughly 82,000 to 103,000. It's kind of crazy when you really wrap your head around that.
So then when you take it to a little larger level, that's 328 to 412 million pounds of luxury kitchens are thrown into the landfills annually. Every year, 328 to 412 million pounds, which is 164,000 to 206,000 tons of luxury kitchens are just going to landfills.
No, it's insane. So we're going to talk about something really important and really meaningful today, and a company that is serving the industry that we want to really bring in the forefront, and that's Renovation Angel. And they're since 2005, they've diverted over 40 million pounds of kitchens from landfills. That is amazing. It says that less than 1% of each year, meaning there are 99% more kitchens to be recycled. So all that they're doing is only 1%, and there's 99% more that we can do, and we want to do it.
Right. Thank you. Thanks for saying that, Cindy. I am so excited to hear your excitement about this subject and about Renovation Angel, because this is a fantastic nonprofit group specializing in recycling luxury kitchens. This program demonstrates how our industry can participate in sustainable business practices that really benefit all of us and benefit people. So the panelists today that are joining me are my dear friends. First of all, Steve Feldman, who's the CEO and founder of Renovation Angel.
Yay!
When Steve and I first met and he told me about what he was doing, I knew that this was a winning proposition all the way around and couldn't wait to be a part of it. So welcome, Steve. Next, we have Dan Nolan, who's the National Trade Manager for Miele. Dan, Jan, and the entire Mila team has been such strong supporters of our industry, our association, and their commitment to the global environment is something we are all proud of. All of our members are proud of.
Hey, Dan.
And hey, Dan. And last but not
Afternoon, ladies.
least, we have Peter Salerno, CMKBD, owner and lead designer of Peter Salerno, Inc. I've known Peter for so many years, it's kind of frightening. I sincerely hold him as one of the premier kitchen and bath designers in our industry and a devoted member, but that's only exceeded by the fact that we have never called on Peter to help us with any initiative or anything that we're doing that he hadn't been there for us. And that's really true of all three of these gentlemen. These have been great relationship builders and supporters of our association. So take it away, Cindy.
Amazing. First of all, Steve, I don't know if you know this, but I definitely know about Renovation Angel. And I remember years ago, somehow finding it, Googling it, because it's in New Jersey. I know that.
Yes.
And getting really, really excited about what was there. And I would think that for a designer, many designers, they love treasures. They love to dig around and find treasures. And that place is definitely a treasure. We'll get to that with Peter. But let's, first of all, tell us a little bit of background of how you started this.
So I actually came from the rock and roll radio business. I was in rock and roll for 18 years, and I'm a recovered addict for 32 years. So I left radio in 1998. I was fundraising in Greenwich, Connecticut for addiction recovery. And I had one wealthy donor, and then she lost $30 million in the stock market in 2001. She said, Steve, here's your last check, good luck. Well, her next door neighbor was the Queen of Iran. And I saw a sign in the Queen's driveway, demolition in progress. I drive up to this 10,000 square foot Rockefeller mansion, and it's gone. And I have this idea. The idea is, rather than ask people for money, I'll earn the money by selling the kitchens, fixtures, appliances, furniture out of demolished mansions that could be donated. So miraculously, the Greenwich Time newspaper heard about the idea from a real estate agent, and they did an article on the idea. And in October 2001, the article came out, and we got 36 phone calls from kitchen designers, architects, builders, even hedge fund managers who wanted us to come and recycle their mansions. We did this pilot program for 4 years. And then in 2005, just celebrated our 15th anniversary this week, we started Renovation Angel. And our mission is simply protecting the earth, creating new recycling jobs, and helping those in need.
Where did you start storing the first kitchens?
Oh my God. Like in the pilot project days, we were selling them out of backs of trailers, garages, storage bins. This is really a Cinderella story.
That's so beautiful that, you know, I really want video of the beginnings, because I'm sure it was like kind of crazy. But you know what, when you have like a good idea, and then that is a seed to something much bigger. And now more than ever, people are very, very interested in obviously what's happening in terms of sustainability and recycling and our land. So God bless you for that. I know I've always wanted to go there, but I would get in trouble because I would start buying kitchens. It would be a big problem. So Dan, let's talk about Miele and how you got involved with the brand and how you felt about it.
So as many of you are familiar, Miele is a 120-year-old family-owned German luxury appliance company. We're known for our elegant design, superior user experience, for our home solution products. What many people aren't potentially familiar with is our commitment to sustainability and the environment, whether it's the efficiency of our products, energy efficiency, how we ship our products, and how we try to lower our carbon footprint when we do. The materials that we use in our products to make sure that they are close to 100% recyclable when they end their lifespan. But what many people don't know is our products are engineered to last over 20 years. So whether it's our laundry solutions, whether it's our kitchen items, they are all tested and manufactured to last over 20 years. So hypothetically, if someone buys a home and they want to remodel their kitchen and it's 10 years old, those appliances, those Miele appliances in that kitchen are only halfway through their lifespan.
Right.
So while that works for us to a degree as a manufacturer, there's also, and I don't want to talk about the appliances like they're my children, but they've only reached half of their potential. So as an organization, we learned more about Steve and Renovation Angel and their vision and their purpose, which completely aligned with our vision as a manufacturer. So they were an organization that we wanted to learn more about. And when we did, we figured there has to be some way that we could potentially partner and support them as an organization and their vision and values.
No, that's amazing. First of all, I don't know that, European companies certainly should get a lot of kudos, because I think just the mindset for companies is to just be more sustainable, right? It's ingrained in the DNA of your company, right? By the way, we moved into an apartment in the city, and the Miele washer dryer was still the best appliance there, and that's the only thing of the appliances that stayed. So I can attest to the long lasting. So then tell us about the program that you started working with Renovation Angel.
Steve and Renovation Angel were kind enough to partner with us. We wanted to find a way to support them as an organization and their vision and what they're doing. So we are excited to announce our recycle and rebate program with Renovation Angel. So any Renovation Angel client who is donating their kitchen will be able to receive a 10% discount on any Miele Home Solution products, whether they are kitchen appliances like our ranges, refrigeration, ovens, world famous coffee systems, our floor care items, and our laundry. So if a Renovation Angel client is donating their kitchen, they'll be able to receive that discount and purchase Miele product through a participating Miele dealer. And again, those Miele products are expected to last 20 years. So they should completely align with Renovation Angel as an organization, as well as that client that's potentially purchasing that Miele product.
So Steve, what is that like, having a company like Miele really seriously get involved with you?
This was our ultimate goal, to get an industry leader like Miele to build luxury recycling in as a best practice. And you read the statistics, about 99% of these kitchens are not getting recycled. And we really believed that we needed to partner with someone like Miele, just like we're partnering with the NKBA, to really change the mindset of designers, builders, architects, and show them that it's really very simple to recycle as opposed to just throw things in the dumpster, and that there's a huge environmental benefit as well as financial benefits for doing so.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now we have to talk about the designer, because I think your best salesperson is the designer. And of course, having somebody like world class, like Peter Salerno, Peter, thank you so much for joining us and for being so supportive of this program. So tell us how you first connected with Renovation Angel.
Well, I started when we obviously are planning a kitchen. The first thing you do is visit a job site.
Right.
And sometimes, to my amazement, some of these kitchens were nearly brand new. They didn't like the color, it was dated, etc. So at the end of the day, I'm like, what a shame to be throwing this away. And I always try to find a home for these things. Maybe somebody wants a dishwasher that's just partly used or whatever. So then all of a sudden I came upon Steve, and he told me about the program many years ago, and I started recommending him. And then we went one step further and actually at that point approached the client and said, listen, let me take some pictures of this. This has a value in multiple ways. One is that if they take it out, you're going to be saving on all that expense on someone taking it out and then having to cart it away. Number two is you're going to be getting a tax relief on this, which is also found money. So all of a sudden there could be a swing of a budget as much as $25,000, which is a lot of money. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, I went to a job site and this person's taking the kitchen out because he doesn't like it. The house is pretty new. And I said, oh, I have to tell you about Renovation Angels. He goes, I know all about them.
Wow.
I sold a kitchen to them 3 years ago before I moved here. And I said, do you mind? I'd like to ask you, what was the credit that you got? $20,000.
Wow.
And he just said, absolutely. I said, look, I know Steve personally. I will take the photographs, send the measurements, tell him the quality of it, And they said, that would be great. Absolutely, that's going to be part of my planning stage. So we're way ahead of the game as a designer, but I really am now becoming proactive. So instead of saying to the client like I was before, you call them, I take it upon myself because, again, for me, it's a better selling tool.
Right, exactly.
But
So
the
tell
client-
tell us exactly, Peter, tell us how it works. Because you're saying that the credit is that much money, which is amazing. But how does it work in terms of getting it out and there and all of that?
So, you know, what they're looking for is obviously accurate photography, quality of product. I mean, the kitchen is 30 years old and it's very worn. There's really not a market for that. But in many cases, I mean, look what's happening in our industry. The lifespan of a kitchen was 30 years. Then it became 25. Then it became 20. People are taking their kitchens out after 10 years now. That's basically new.
Right.
Oh, so it's just not that it's worn, it's just they're tired, it's dated, they're tired of that old pickled oak, whatever it may be. So at the end of the day, they're pulling it out and it still can go to a beautiful home by just refinishing or changing hardware, etc. So, you know, what I do is I take photography of it, I check and inspect the appliance quality, I take the measurements because the clients may not be capable of doing it, and then I contact someone at Renovation Angels and say, listen, we have this beautiful kitchen, it's in mint condition, they want to keep a couple of refrigerators or whatever it may be, or maybe they just want to sell the entire package. And then I just give them all the information. So I do have all the details. I do have all the measurements. So it makes it easy for Renovation Angel to just go there and say, I'm going to inspect this to make sure it is what you're saying it is. And then at that point, we'll make and give them a price on what they'll be able to get credited back. And then I make the arrangements. So this way, my plumber and electrician coordinate it with their team. And it really, they make it seamless. I have to tell you, it's so professional. They come in there with blankets. They're using tools, you know, professional tools. You know, they're coming in there with screwdrivers and drills and carefully prying out the crown molding so it doesn't break. Everything comes intact, even countertops. I mean, we've had great success with a lot of things. And, you know, it may take a day or two, but they come in with a team. It's, you know, it's 3 or 4 people. And I have to tell you, no damage, very careful, very respectful. And my clients call me and thank me for connecting them to Renovation Angel.
Yeah, super professional. By the way, Steve, is he not your best salesperson? That was pretty.
I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah,
I want to ask, can I ask you a quick question? Now,
Yeah.
They don't take every kitchen, right? I mean, it's not something that when a salesperson is selling it, you can say, I can for sure do this, because Steve, you have to approve it, or it has to be something you can resell. I want to make sure nobody promises.
What I do, Suzie, is I evaluate it. So obviously, if it's a kitchen that I know can be redesigned easily, you know, if there's a section where you have a refrigerator and oven and it could be extending an L shape, or if the island can be rotated and changed direction, as a designer, I know that it can be used in a number of different ways to redesign. I will at that point suggest it. But every door that I'm walking in, I do not say that. If I don't know that there's a better than 80% chance, because then what happens to me is, you know, my client loses faith in me. Peter, I was counting on X amount of dollars and having this taken out for free. So I really want to be almost absolutely sure that it's something that they can take out and then repurpose. So it's up to the designer really to take the lead and make an evaluation, a good one, because at the end it could backfire on me, and I was the hero before, and all of a sudden, well, they were counting on something coming back and it's not happening. So it's going to reduce my chances, obviously, selling another kitchen. So I want to be very careful on not getting their hopes way up and all of a sudden deflating them.
Right.
Right. And you're talking, Steve, you're talking about high end and taking good care of it, and then, you know, getting it to Renovation Angel, and then it going to another good home, right?
Absolutely. So really the two groups, there's the luxury kitchens, and those could go back as far as 18 or 20 years if it's really good millwork. We also take the mid-level kitchens that may be excellent condition, very good condition, but more mid-grade cabinetry, but they're in really excellent, hardly used condition.
No, that's great. Now, I see here there's something called a Responsible Renovator Program. Who wants to talk about that? Is that you, Steve?
Yes, absolutely. So we're encouraging designers to be responsible renovators, and that's our new slogan, Renovate Responsibly. So What we're doing is we give the designers a sales tool, and it's called a net value estimate. So when Peter sends us pictures of the kitchen from his client, we then send back our estimate for how much are they going to save on their taxes, how much are they going to save on their free removal, pack, and transport. We also bring in the fact that to take a tax deduction over $5,000, they'll need an appraisal. We estimate what the appraisal cost is. We know for just the kitchen, it's $450. That's like a set fee from the third-party appraisals. So the homeowner sees, oh, I'm going to save $30,000. I'm going to save $15,000. If it's a big, large kitchen and maybe there's other items like bathrooms, lighting, maybe they're going to save $50,000 or more.
No, I love that. And first of all, I love how you're talking about it just in terms of being responsible, because everyone wants to be responsible these days. You also talk about becoming an ambassador, which I also like.
Absolutely, because ultimately the kitchen designer is the one we want to make the hero. We want to make them the hero to their clients, just like Peter said. The clients love it. It's great for him. We encourage designers to send us these pictures up ahead so we can pre-evaluate it. That way, they're not having to commit. We'll make the commitment. Once we send out our inspection team, we then commit, and then Peter just baton passes the whole process to us. We do all the logistics, the scheduling, the insurance, if it's New York City or if it's Los Angeles, we do all the insurance. We work with the building managers. And then removal day, it's actually done in 1 day or less, unless it's a huge multi-kitchen job with more items than just a single kitchen. But a single kitchen is always done in 1 day or less.
Listen, I want to hear, because you're getting in some really amazing kitchens. There was one that was like the most valued kitchen. What was that one? What was the numbers on that?
Oh my God, that was a great one. So the tax deduction on that kitchen was $90,000. This was a New York City townhouse, multi-million dollars. This was we removed it in 2018. The kitchen was installed like the year before. It had amazing appliance package, brand new cabinetry, everything on point. And they just didn't like the style. And it was a very large kitchen. So, you know, that client also donated lighting and bathrooms and other fixtures in the townhouse. And so they got a very, very large tax deduction.
Yeah. Peter, it's not unusual, right? Let's be honest. It's not unusual as a designer to walk into a space and look and say, that's got to go. That's got to go. That's got to go.
Right.
Now you have a place for it to go to, right?
Right.
Well, you know what? You would hate to see something really beautiful. Look, I've been a worker for over 40 years. And at the end, you really hate to see a beautiful piece of furniture, and I call my kitchens furniture, and a lot of them are furniture, just ended up in a dumpster or landfill. So, I mean, for me, I always try to find a home for them. And, you know, people use it on second homes. You know, they use it in summer homes. They use it in country homes. So I know it's going to get another life. And I mean, now more than ever, we're refinishing kitchens that I've done myself a lot of times. You know, $20,000 new paint job, change the hardware, everything, the design is fine. So if it doesn't work in that house, it may work in another house. So it's not just using the same kitchen. Then that client can get that kitchen, and Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, they could turn around and get a painter for $10,000 and making it look brand new, put new hardware, new countertops in, and you're like, when did you do this kitchen? Oh, the kitchen's 20 years old, but it's been painted a month ago, and I'm going to get another 20 years out of this.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's one of the big advantages to buying a quality design kitchen. We've actually recycled quite a few Peter Salerno kitchens because they're such quality. They're going to qualify for my program. People are going to want to buy them and do exactly that, repaint them, add new countertops. And it, you know, it's like buying a classic car. You've made it look beautiful and it retains its beauty.
Peter, first of all, we're so appreciative that because you're an amazing advocate for them, but also that you're speaking up about it, because we want others at your caliber to do that. So we thank you so much. Now, Steve, you got to tell us it's a big outlet, right? I heard 43,000 square feet. What's it like?
You know, it is like a 24/7 estate sale. So, you know, just in the kitchen world,
Oh man.
you know,
I want to go.
I want to go.
I want to go.
We're all smiling.
You know, one of our better mousetraps was obviously, the whole process for working with designers and the whole high-end process for removing and all the benefits. But the other was creating this aftermarket of kitchen buyers. And it's really about people's personality, not so much about their wealth. Everybody knows that like Warren Buffett is still driving a 2000 Mercedes, 20 years old. Some people buy certified pre-owned BMWs rather than new cars. And we sell kitchens to people in Greenwich, New Canaan, the Hamptons, New York City, all over Beverly Hills. Why? Because their personality is about what we call a luxury bargain hunter. The hunt is half the challenge and half the fun, and they love getting a great deal. So we're gathering up kitchens from mansions all over America, and the appliances, the bath fixtures, the lighting, the furniture, the antiques, the artwork, all in one 43,000 square foot outlet.
Amazing. Yeah, I have a very good friend, big designer, Laura Bond, and she took because I'm wondering about this too, with the kitchen and bath showrooms themselves, because she bought one right off the floor and it looks brand new and looks amazing in her weekend house up in Bucks County. Like, it's gorgeous. So there's lots of ways to get more to you, right?
Absolutely, yes. We have a program for kitchen design showrooms, manufacturers, distributors, where we sell their displays, their open box merchandise. And, this aggregates to a very interesting collection of inventory.
That's amazing. Now, Suzie, let's come back to you and the NKBA, because I hear that you launched an official recognition program with Renovation Angel. So tell us about it.
We did. It's very exciting because, well, it's called the NKBA Renovation Angel Luxury Kitchen Recycling Awards. And what it does, it recognizes the astounding work that's done by design professionals nationwide who have made the commitment to be responsible renovators and to choose to recycle when possible. No waste. I mean, through this whole thing today, all I keep thinking to myself is no waste. No waste for the landfills, no waste of beauty, no waste of previous wonderful designs.
Yeah.
Because it's really important to take care of our planet by thinking about sustainability and material sourcing and being responsible wherever possible to avoid product ending up in our landfills or being wasted. And Steve, I think it's been so great that we've finally been able to recognize some of the fantastic work you guys have done. I've always been excited about this, and thanks so much for allowing us to be a part of it.
Hey, it's always about a little creativity, right? So
yeah.
So it's the 2021 Luxury Kitchen Recycling Awards. When is it?
Right.
When is it open for submission, Steve?
So on Tuesday, July 28th, the doors open up on our website and you can start submitting. And we're going to be looking for the most valuable donated kitchen, which means the highest tax deduction. We're going to be looking at the best luxury kitchen. We are going to be looking for design firms that do the most volume. Last year, the firm that won recycled 40 kitchens in 3 years.
Oh my
They
God.
built it into their best practice.
Wow.
So this is what we're really, and what the NKBA is doing with us is, again, showing positive role models for sustainability. And it's one of the most exciting moments to have Suzie up on stage with me at 2020 KBIS and talking about sustainability. And, it was such a great award ceremony.
Amazing. It's amazing. So there's a few things for everyone out there listening that you have to think about. So first of all, number one, submit your designs. Peter, you must have a lot of designs. You got to submit them to the NKBA Renovation Angel Luxury Kitchen Recycling Awards. It's a mouthful, but you got to do it. You got to do it. And also, let's think about, what are you going to do as a designer now when you walk into a project? What are you going to do with that kitchen that you might be pulling out? Let's think about it in a different way. And I know that once the designers do, like Peter, like, it's just a part of your business then, and you're doing something that's obviously benefiting the land and the earth.
But it needs to be said that not only are these great for everybody to touch and hear a lot of wonderful things, but you do a lot of good with these. And I have to tell you, I really respect you for that and appreciate what you do for the industry by making sure that people hear about these kind of things that makes the world a better place to be in. So kudos to you, sister.
Well, thank you, really. Thank you so much. I know, because I believe in the designers and our industry, and the more they hear about this, it's just going to keep multiplying. And let's design the world and take care of the world at the same time. I want to thank all of you. Yes, go forth and design, and a big thanks and a virtual hug to everybody. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much for having us on.
I was not such a good designer or a good illustrator, but I always knew exactly what would happen in fashion. And we would go to Paris, to Saint Laurent, and I would already have the code which was on the runway. So that has always been the case, and this is where they discovered that I had that nose. And so they started to develop a curriculum especially for me to train me in that sense. Our trends are not about gadgets or fancy moments. They are really about very long rolling sort of movements of society.
Please join me and give a very warm welcome to Cindy and Lee.
The circle has so much positive value, so incredible deep relations to our psyche, to the planet, to everything in our systems.
Lee is an educator. She characterizes herself, I think the term is trend forecaster. It's a hell of a lot of work, a lot of study, ear to the ground, talking to people, analysis. I mean, she's a student of human behavior, which allows her to say, this is where I think we want to go. And then she actually takes responsibility for taking us there.
I was born in Wageningen, which is a small medieval town in the Netherlands. Because I was born in 50 and there was nothing. So I used cardboard and I just created all sorts of objects and a music player and records, and I would hear music, and everything was in my brain. So even today, I think this is the background of the way I work. In Trend Union, we publish portfolios with ideas. There is a color card. Then there is a general trend book, which is the big sort of textile book, which is the Bible of the season, which has all the secrets and all the details and so on. Then there is a book on menswear, and then we do once a year a book on interior and design. The color card in the end will be presented like this. It has, all the dyed colors in color ranges. Now I'm studying the new ones, which are for autumn, winter 2020.
Oh, wow.
I called it Indian summer, like India. So this is the strange colors between sort of old rose and brick.
These are very strange colors.
Hare Krishna.
He's amazing.
So you could just imagine how you can make knitwear and,
The world of Edelkoort, right?
Yeah.
Early on, where were you gravitating towards? Was it primarily fashion then?
It was really fashion. I was really educated in fashion, and this was my thing. And design became a second very big obsession when the Design Academy asked me to be head of a department of design.
At Eindhoven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I spent for 10 years, 1 week a month in Eindhoven. It was an explosion of creativity.
She asked questions, she challenged. Lee liked the mess. The values that were emerging, the humanity, let's say, that was brought back to craftsmanship, to the human hand. She argued that we're talking about seeing a designer's mind converting something, taking it to the next level based on where we are in the world today.
But you actually do work with big companies.
Yeah, they ask, very brave for them to ask me, very brave for me to go in front of the lions. The car I made with Nissan, I don't even have a license. And they said, that doesn't matter. We know how to design a car, but we want to know what is the context and how are people going to live and what is the situation. It looked weird in those days, but got all the prices a car can get in 1993. And then all the other cars were designed in that manner. Even also when I work on curriculums and on designing schools, it's always within mind what will happen.
As you said, it's only a year old that there's this
Yes.
maker studio.
There is a real interest from students more and more into making. And it's funny because 10 years ago, all schools wanted to get rid of all making material. And now there is this backlash from the student zone, from the art, from the architecture, from the design, from fashion, to say, I want to make stuff, I want to have tactility, and I want to make textile.
Yes. That is fantastic.
The youngest generation are completely in favor of a better world. Working together, working in teams, no longer ownership. It's a new breed. We are going to a new future, but maybe it's a new system. Textiles are going to make an enormous comeback. And in the end, maybe we will see that the 21st century is the century of textiles.
Are you optimistic about the future?
It's very hard to say, because I'm going to write a trend forecast for 2050. But the next step is more difficult, because we have such conflicting mentalities, politics, economics, and so on, that it's almost that you have to predict who is going to win the fight.
Who's going to win? Lee, help us.
I think us.
Yeah.
I think us, but it will be a narrow escape. It will be a narrow escape. But in the end, I think with this young generation, we are going to choose humanity.
Hey everybody, this is Cindy Allen, Editor-in-Chief of Interior Design Magazine, and you've just watched our film on design giant Lee Edelkoort. We did it a few years back, but we are so fortunate to catch up with Lee today, who is far, far away, and we're going to talk about her view on the crisis and rebuilding a better society. Lee, I'm so happy to see you.
Hey, Cindy, good to see you.
So beautiful seeing you. I hear you're in South Africa, right?
Yes, we stranded here the day after Valentine's Day.
Oh,
And after a week, I looked at Philip, my partner in New York, and in the world. And I said, Philip, we're not going to America because that's going to be too dangerous.
yes.
And there was no reason really to think that then, but the instinct was right. And I just knew that I would teach my students online, and that, and I had read that there's not even 1 million hospital beds in America. And I thought, oh my God, that's very dangerous.
Oh my goodness. So you're in Cape Town right now, right?
Yeah, so we stayed in South Africa, I went to Cape Town. encountered this amazing eccentric lady who has this new hotel called Dorp. It's like village, and it's actually a little village with little cottages on the mountain of Boca, in the Muslim area with all the colored houses, and it's an yeah, we have been confined in heaven.
Oh my goodness, not so bad, but I know the instinct is, you know, to also be near your students. So just so everybody knows, you're the Dean of Hybrid Studies at Parsons. It's been a 5-year gig, right? 5 years. Is it ending now?
Yeah, it's ending.
Oh my goodness. So
yeah, that's also very traumatic, you know, to end without being there. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And this was such, you know, such a revolution, like in a way, because you started a master's program and really dug in deep with these students, right?
Yes, it was an amazing journey. And I must tell you all that the first ever graduation we had a few weeks ago is amazing. All the students are great, and several of them are star designers. So we are so lucky that, you know, it works, that we have this super faculty, you know, bringing the students to these results, that my director, Pretty Gobinat, is so superhuman that she knows how to get these future stars into the world. And yeah, I'm very, very proud, very proud.
That's amazing. I hear that that they were doing all this really interesting work, being very restricted in their apartments, and you started sharing it on your Instagram or something like that, right?
Yeah, you know, I was so impressed. There was one guy, he undid the loom, brought it to the cellar of his building, you know, near the heating system, remade the loom because he wanted to make a very, very big length of fabric. And another student decided to take her table, her dinner table, and reformed it into a loom and made incredible textiles with scraps of saris. So, and other ones, you know, adapted the size of their work, and suddenly they needed to not project an exhibition, but make a film of their work. So they had to make documentaries in a way to show its work.
That's amazing. I saw I went on and I saw a beautiful one that looked like an installation with rolled felt, and the designer was under it. That's so you. You have been such an amazing influence on these students.
That's Sagarita. Yes, it was a real shamanistic experience what she did. Yeah. She's a felt maverick, and all of them will do very well because we educated them to be independent, to be craft-minded, to go your own way, to carve your own future. So we are not worried for their future because they have been, I would say, really prepared for this moment.
How would you describe the students in New York versus overseas, where you've always been, teaching?
Well, our students are actually from all over the world.
Right, that's true.
Although they are in New York and New Yorkers, we had American students from different states. So, I have learned in the recent period that the states of America are countries and should be countries, and that we should have the States united instead of the United States. So even to be American, I think, means several things. So the students compare very much to any other student body I've seen in the world, as long as if you give students the right openings and the right motivation and the right structure and the right curriculum, this blooming starts to happen no matter where you are.
Right. But I can imagine they were really, really engaged by somebody like you and absorbed like sponges.
Well, that's a compliment. I haven't been there as much, of course.
Yeah.
But yes, I really adored being with them, and I regret stopping. But at the same time, I need to move on to other things. So it was a beautiful capsule of time.
Yes, no, and we were also lucky. In fact, that's where at least we were able to spend some time together because we were in New York.
Quality time.
And it meant so much, and it meant so much to me and to the industry for sure. So Lee, let's talk about the virus. And you say it's like a blank page for a new beginning.
Yes. Well, we all knew that we were working too hard and had too much stress. We all knew that we were spending too much and buying too much. We all knew that we were producing far too much, especially in fashion, but also in interior. We all knew that Instagram forced companies to make special items for any country and for any event, and all this waste and all this transport and so on. But we didn't know how to jump off, you know?
Right.
So we discussed it over and over again for years. And some brave people did, you know, step off, but most of us were just trying to control, trying to rein in, trying to motivate people to do better and less. Yet, you know, the machine was just rolling, uncontrolled. And so came this virus and suddenly stop. And we retreat into our own environment. And so there was a quarantine of consumption where suddenly the only thing you could buy is food, and even not all food. And so food buying became the leisure of the day, you know. And you went in your cupboard and you rediscovered your clothes, which you never really knew. And they were friends because for once you had, you know, this relationship building up between them and you. You had time. You also discovered your kitchen because you started to cook again. You know, now everybody wants to enlarge their kitchens because it has been the place to be.
Right.
Then you discovered that sleeping in a bit was making you look so much better, you know, on Zoom. And the first of the time, many parents told me they discovered their kids. They say, I'm so grateful for this period because I would not have known my kid ever.
Right.
If this wouldn't have happened.
Right.
Suddenly also parents understood how incredibly important are teachers.
So true, so true. I mean, oh my God, everyone's pulling out their hair trying to teach their kids. Yeah.
And so it did so many things to us, and we started to dance and sing together, and much longer emails, personal emails, I call them e-letters. Much more Skypes with family and friends. It was an amazing period, even if so difficult.
Yes, yes.
So it learned us very basic human values again.
You know, so in the design world, I used to always say, because, you know, there was this big movement for health and wellness. And I used to say, this is the best movement, but we're all working harder than ever to try to make it happen. So as you said, there needed to be a stop and like a deeper, deeper understanding of what we kind of already knew, but like you said, couldn't stop.
And how beneficial it becomes because people become creative.
Right.
We have, you know, where we have seen reports about that you need to be lazy, that you need to walk in nature for an hour a day, that you need to embrace trees, you know, hug trees to sort of ground you. So we know all these things, but then we didn't do those things.
Right.
And I think now we come to a turning point where luxury and design and interior values will change, and it will change for the better. I hope that the trauma and the disaster is big enough for it to happen this time.
Right.
We had the same reaction after 9/11. We had a similar, not as violent reaction after the economic crisis. But this is number 3 in 1 century. So I think this is like a more powerful force. And then today it's coupled with the political agony in many countries, including yours, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then what happens in the streets today. So we have these accumulated forces towards change. and it's going rapid now, and it's taking over. And so, yes, I'm very optimistic about it.
Yes. It's hard to understand, as you say, how it will shake out, and or our bad habits coming back in. But yeah, 3, you know, right, 1, 2, 3. I'm glad that you're doing something about it too, because you're starting a forum, a world forum, right?
Yes, talking about hope.
Yes.
During our time here, which has been very productive because we've been working very hard.
Right.
We've been in contact with many companies, you know, trying to figure out how they could prepare their future. We did webinars and so. And at one point we discussed with Philip, and we said that we really needed to take this momentum and bring it further. So I invented the World Hope Forum, which is a counter movement to the World Economic Forum, which is for the 1%, for the bankers and the rich and very famous.
Yeah, the World Forum is the other people, right?
And we are going to make this forum for us, creative people, because I think that creative people are underrated in the shaping of society and culture and politics and economics.
Right.
And that basically now that everything needs to be reset, we need our forces to look at a new circular future. So what we're going to do is that it's a world organization with ambassadors in each country, which then has its chapter, going to do local events and congresses to harvest all good ideas, to get, you know, new plans, new blueprints, open source design, and this all will be shared by all the members of that forum. And the fun story is that Philip invented that our members will pay 1% of what is paying the 1% for the World Economic Forum.
Wow.
So ours is 190, so you can figure out.
Right.
How much they pay.
You know, that's the thing, that's the issue we've always had, which is how do you value design, right? And it's always been in some way marginalized or pushed aside. And more than ever right now, where business is, you know, ruling everything we do. So I completely agree with you. What?
Business and marketing. Even in cultural institutions, now we see marketing taking decisions, taking the lead, you know, farming out things to do. And it's not up to that discipline to do that. It's for the curators and the makers and the shapers.
Yes.
And I think we are constantly underrated. We've been underrated since the beginning of this whole field. And by now, everybody is also educated to be an entrepreneur and to take your own life into your hand and to make your own budgets and so on.
Right.
And many young industrial designers actually are partnering with industry because the industry doesn't have enough money anymore to do it on their own for them. So there is already this growing consensus that we can work together. It needs to be more known, and I think we need desperately very new ideas about almost every step of the processes.
Right. Wouldn't that be the most amazing outcome?
Yes.
It certainly, I am so in, Lee. I'll do whatever you want.
Become our media partner, please.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good to me. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, very good.
You've also in July, I think, is it July that you're starting a webinar and fundraiser called The Future is Handmade. Tell us about that.
Yeah. This is for the Santa Fe market, you know, the folk market, which is not able to take place this year. So all the artisans are, you know, left alone, you know, and will not have the income of that very profitable market for all of them. And it's not only income, it's also excitement, meeting, learning. Yeah, it's this whole magic event, which is that market. And so we want to help them. And I made a book about folklore in fashion a few years ago, because I wanted to discuss the ideas about cultural approbation. Because although I agree that horrible, cheap copies are made, I also believe that there is a universal value of motifs and making, which are not belonging to any region in the world. So actually, I'm trying to see the red threads through all the different shapes, finishes, and so on. It's incredibly beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful books, of course, because you know the pictures are to die for, and the message is very powerful. And today, it's so interesting when you see somebody with a real, you know, traditional garment. It's sort of, you know, you see something original and traditional at the same time. Very beautiful.
Lee, is there a message? Look, this is going to go out to a lot of people. Is there like a final message you'd like to share with everybody? I mean, you really have always had such a deep understanding of what was going on in the world, and sharing it even more powerfully right now. Right now is the time, right?
Yes. Well, I'm grateful for the virus, how strange that may sound, because it needed to happen. If not, any other horrible thing would have happened. I'm also worried about the virus, and I'm trying not to catch it. So I'm very, very careful. So I would urge people to be much more careful than they are, because it might take 2 more years if we look at the virus 100 years ago, you know. And our governments are not prepared. So we are left to our own wisdom. So be wise, I would say, be hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember very well the 9/11 situation. And then I was working in a design academy. And this was the moment you could not really speak about design because it sounded so strange, you know, to consider such a fickle thing. And from this whole moment was born the autonomous design discipline, which now has museums and galleries, you know, and collectors. So from disaster, I've seen it with my own eyes, from disaster was born an absolute new field, a renaissance of form.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm hopeful, because I know that human nature is able to somehow, the more adversary you have, you know, it's in your own life. You know, when you have a few setbacks, you know, there comes a day that you just start fighting back and great ideas come to your brain. So I just believe that we will have maybe finally the culture we deserve in the 21st century.
Right. That's so beautiful. Yes. We'll get beyond this because of this. And to the power of design, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the human spirit,
the creative spirit is able to do everything.
Right.
The only thing I hope is to embrace you again. I saw in our movie, you know.
I know.
It was so shocking to see, you know, that freely.
I know. I'm embracing. I know. Me too. I'm embracing.
You must miss that so much more than anybody else.
I do miss it. I do miss it. And it's funny that people have mentioned that to me, that they miss the hug. Well, I'm sending you all my love. Philip, come in and say goodbye. Big hug, big love. Is Philip? Bye. Thank you, Philip, for everything. Take care of each other. Let's send love out to the world. And bless you. Bless you, Lee, for everything you do for all of us.
So much.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
The smartphone. How did we ever live without it? And now it has become a powerful tool for all you designers and architects. Interior Design is excited to introduce Launch, a new feature right inside the magazine that's built around the smartphone. Launch allows for the speed and efficiency of a digital platform while providing the inspiration and curation of a magazine. So you may ask, well, how does it work? Just point your phone at a launch code and it will activate a powerful, intuitive user interface. One in which you can instantly select from multiple actions, all at the touch of a button. Do you want to, say, download a spec sheet? How about contact a rep? Or just get a sample? Launch will help you discover the newest products in the market and easily take action. Now, keep your eye out for it. We are loving Launch.
Hello, I'm Helene Oberman, Managing Director of Interior Design Magazine, and I'd like to welcome you to Product Live. This is our series that delves into the products and trends, grabbing the industry, and in real time looking at the minds behind the design. With me, I have the effervescent Market Director, Rebecca Thienes. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Helene. How are you?
I'm good. So we are here today to talk about Launch. Have you heard about it? Have you used it yet? It's a great specification tool for you designers out there, especially those working from home, as it offers a selection of new products and those tried and true. And all you need is one of these and one of these, which I hope you have. Today, we're going to give you a little insight on some of the latest products you can find in Launch. Rebecca, you want to kick it off?
So I thought we'd start by talking about Davis's A collection, which started with just a stackable chair, but it's now expanded to include a bench and a table, and also a lounge chair. And they were all designed by Marcus Yees and Jürgen Lau. And they're very minimalist. I love the design. It's very clean. It's all based upon this architectural A-frame silhouette that's created by the aluminum legs. And that's what gives the collection its name. It's the A collection. And yeah, it's from Davis. It's nothing lost and nothing added. It's very simplistic, very beautiful design.
And next we have Bernhard Design with the Bom Bom swivel chair from my designer friend, Francesco Favoretto. Ciao, Francesco, and his first introduction for the manufacturer. So the chair can be considered a study in contrast, merging a rigid, thin shell with generous, soft cushions, hence the name Bom Bom. It's the type of chair that could really look good anywhere, from an office lobby to an amenity lounge and even snuggled up desk side. The Bom Bom, it's a true ode to comfort.
So we also have a wonderful introduction from Newcraft. It's called Forena, and it's a line of 4 resomercial style credenzas. So they look great at home, they look great at the office, they look great at the home office. They're designed by Joseph Jupp, and they're available with really cool, surprising interior details. So you can get a built-in refrigerator drawer, slide-in shelves, slide in and out shelves for AV equipment, soundbar accommodation, and of course, there's the ability to charge your devices. So it's super versatile. It's a really great piece.
And next up, from the windy city of Chicago, we have Turf and their amazing headquarters based in an old renovated firehouse. So their product is Freeform Ceiling Baffle, which has the appropriate tagline of make your move. So Freeform goes in the direction you want it to go, fueled by design flexibility. You can customize the curves of the ceiling baffle, delivering enhanced acoustics and a visual rhythm that is unique to your space. Freeform makes any space look good and sound even better.
The Summa executive chair is by Human Scale. This is one of my favorites. So beautiful, very elegant design. It comes in 7 chrome-free leathers, so that's a kind of non-toxic way of treating leather. And it also has a wooden shell back, which comes in 3 different wood finishes, so you can kind of mix and match to make different feels. It's also really known for the control mechanisms being very seamlessly integrated. So there's a weight compensating recline mechanism and a super discreet height adjusting lever. So it's really great. We could all use one of these at home right now, I think.
Yeah, I can. And of course, to my friends right here in my backyard of New York City, we have Williford. And actually with great foresight, they launched Rampart. It's a wall protection system for health and wellness environments engineered to provide a visually appealing and flexible alternative to sheet goods. With impact and abrasion resistance, antimicrobial properties, and a stain-resistant finish, Rampart is well suited to corridors, public spaces, elevator banks, whether in healthcare, hospitality, and really any corporate setting, including my own home office.
So last but not least, I wanted to talk about Jacopo Fugini's design, the Gina chair, and it's by Idra, but it's for the showroom DDC. It's really fantastic the way that it's constructed because its seat and back are hand extruded in a single thread of polycarbonate, if you can imagine that. So very impressive. And the resulting form is really transparent and light. It comes in a gold or amber colorway, and it really looks like it's kind of got an inner glow, which is really pretty. It's also on these thin black legs that just give it a real elegance. So it's a statement piece. I think that would be beautiful anywhere.
Adds a little glam to any space.
Exactly.
Well, for all of you out there, thank you so much for tuning in to our Product Live launch edition. And please make sure to check out both our April and May, June editions of Interior Design Magazine to check out more information about all of these products and many more.